I turn into a werewolf once a month, and that's it. I get a lot of benefits, and I only have to deal with it once a month. This one was the first film that basically
It's like being a woman.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Juan Pesquera, and you're watching Juan Makes Movies. Today we're going to talk about...
Yeah, what the f*** is going on here?
What, you didn't get the memo?
Did you hear that? I heard that.
It used to be really cool because you could like close it and then, like record and everything, and you had to get fucked up like that. And it cost like $500 to like fix it, so I was like, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
What's up, beautiful people? I'm Zach, and you're watching Zach Makes Movies, the channel where we talk about...
You guessed it, Frank Stallone.
Today we have a very special episode because we have a very special guest on the channel. We've talked about this gentleman a few times before. It's my good friend from film school, Juan Pesquera. Juan, why don't you tell the folks at home about yourself?
I'm from Mexico. I've been boxing for a couple of years and went to film school and graphic design school.
This guy's gonna have a big YouTube channel soon, so we'll send you the link as soon as we have it. So Juan is in town today, so I thought it'd be fun to have him join us for an episode. And because we are now approaching spooky season in the great month of October, I thought it was only appropriate that we talk about one of my favorite movies of all time, one of the great movies of all time, and the greatest werewolf movie of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, An American Werewolf in London.
You saw me standing alone.
Jesus Christ!
Juan, what do you think makes this movie so good?
Well, I think he said it before, but like in general, but like one of the things that when I got a chance to talk to him back when I was shooting a film in it's called Tales of Halloween, and we were working on the set, and John Lange was in it, or was in one of the segments. And we got a chance to talk to him after the shoot was done, and he was telling us stories about the American Werewolf set and how the fog at the beginning made everybody get horrible diarrhea and shit like that, because it was back in the 70s and that shit was poisonous. And then he was talking about like the transformation when he wanted to accomplish, and he said, I don't think that a lot of people realize how painful it is to go from a human like body to a beast or a wolf kind of body. So when you think of the logistics of the transformation, it's got to be very fucking painful as your body rearranges, and it's not just hair growing on you like in the Lon Chaney one.
Yeah.
So I think he succeeded in that regard of like making it look really, really fucking painful. Like you can see every single pain that, and it's not quick either. It's like a full like 5 minutes.
Sequence. Yeah, it's a great sequence.
Yeah. So I think he succeeded in like showing you that you're fucked up while you're human.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have nightmares. You're gonna have basically OCD or survivor's guilt. Because, you know, he survived and his friend did not. And then on top of that, he's getting like, am I hallucinating? Am I not? From the visits from the friend. Then he goes through an extremely painful transformation and kills a bunch of people. Then before he can even like come up with like process what he's done, he's already like, hey, you should kill yourself because you made us. So,
Plus, he gets a hot girlfriend out of the situation who seems to have no problem.
Yeah, Nurse Price do that.
She seems to have no issues with what's going on at all.
Jenny Agutter back in like what, 80s, dude?
1981. Yeah, incredible movie. So a couple things. Well, first of all, going back to what you were just talking about in terms of the kind of revolutionizing the transformation scene, there's a big thing in film called suspension of disbelief, which is something where there's obviously, especially in a movie like this where you're dealing with the supernatural, you have to expect that the audience is going to suspend their disbelief in the supernatural enough to be able to enjoy the film. But in horror, the more realistic you can make the situation, the scarier it is. So if you can take something supernatural that previously in the original iterations of the films, such as the 1940s Lon Chaney Wolfman, you take that version which just kind of used the idea of the transformation and showed us the before and after. It was more of a before and after weight loss picture than an actual transformation. Whereas in this one, it's taking it a few steps further and showcasing, hey, if we're going to get into this world and buy that this is actually happening, we need to really be able to recognize what that would actually entail and the horrific pain that would come from your bones transforming from a human's into a dog's. Yeah. So that's pretty incredible, and of course the special effects were helmed by the great legend Rick Baker.
The winner is Rick Baker for An American Werewolf in London.
One of the great geniuses of film history.
Did you know that there's the Howling and American Werewolf competition?
What was that?
What
it's
happened?
The same year?
Yeah,
the Howling
they came out like
1980,
months apart from each other. But the thing was, Rick Baker had an assistant that was working with him in American Werewolf in London, and he quit and went to work for the Howling. So when you compare the transformations, you see a little bit of Rick Baker in the Howling transformation without being American Werewolf.
Right.
But you see how, like, they took inspiration in a way from Rick Baker in American Werewolf, and it was like months away from each other. So
you like the Howling?
I think it's okay. I like the Howling. I think it's a very 80s movie, very interesting.
What about Ginger Snaps? You like that one?
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
That's a fun one. That I kind of put those three almost in the same category. I think far and away American Werewolf in London's the best one.
Okay, you really scared me, you shithead. You gonna help me up or what?
Yeah.
But I think they're all kind of in that same family because they all were able to have characters that you understand and believe as real world characters, and the way that they showcased the transformations and the horror made it seem like this is something that is not supposed to be happening in this world, and everyone's reacting to it in a pretty cool way. I mean, the Howling, the transformation at the end of the Howling that takes place on the news.
Holy shit!
Man, well, all right. Well, getting back to American Werewolf in London, right off the bat, it's so enjoyable because they give us these two characters played by David Naughton and Griffin Dunne, absolutely brilliant as Jack and David. You immediately buy their friendship. You immediately buy that they've known each other for years. You know, sometimes you can tell when filmmakers have forgotten what it's like to be a teenager, and you can tell when they have not forgotten that at all. Fantastic film, fantastic way to open it. You get right into it. We start off with them in the back of a truck with a bunch of sheep. Yeah. So it's immediately an interesting image. It sets it apart from all the other werewolf movies, all the other horror movies that would probably start immediately with the horror. This one starts with kind of an unsettling imagery, and then once you get to the slaughtered lamb, there's that perfect connection there between the sheep and the lamb. Yeah. How many classic quotes from just the first few minutes of that movie?
Oh, there's a lot of it. You have dude, I could probably recite the whole
Please do.
Dude, it's like I've seen this film. Here's the thing, I've seen this film about over 300 times. Dude. Like, I'm not kidding. It was one of my favorite films as a kid. It's still my number one favorite film. And there's actually a subplot. Funnily enough, there's a radio play that they did back in with the original draft that John Landis wanted to shoot, and it expands on the story of the slaughtered lamb and how it fits in the film.
Okay.
So basically, the constable that they made in the film that is like, nothing, lads.
Right.
Go. I'm going to be with you. That guy. It's the werewolf that attacks him at the beginning is his brother.
Wow. Okay.
Who's locked up in an asylum and escapes.
Huh.
So that explains later down the road when they're like, an escaped lunatic attacked him.
Right.
Well,
okay, so it's true.
But yeah, he became a constable to explain why certain things happened when the brother got out, and then when the brother escapes, he comes back to the town that he always knew. He ends up shooting his brother, and then a layer of tragedy.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's worth listening, and it's for free on YouTube.
I'll definitely have to find that. One of my favorite, incredibly simple details of this movie is the outfits that these two guys are wearing. You get one of them in a big puffy red jacket and the other one in a big puffy green jacket. Yeah. I actually ripped that off for my own movie, Phantom Gloom, which you can see right here. I used that exact same style of jacket. It was a Christmas horror movie, so I thought it was perfect to have red and green. So I had the two main characters as a reference to American Werewolf in London wearing the red and green jackets.
Jack and David, yeah.
Jack and David are such great characters. Griffin Dunne is so funny. He's so funny in this movie. Jack is fantastic, but Griffin Dunne is so good. as his zombie makeup just gets crazier and crazier throughout the film. His face is falling off. The part where it's like jiggling.
And that's all you can see. That's all, yeah. And he actually talked about that. When he was doing the makeup, he was like, dude, everybody's going to be
the only thing anyone is
that.
looking at. Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about the performance. They're all going to be looking at this giggling over here.
Yeah, he's so funny in that movie. All the guys in the porno theater.
This random guy walks in.
Yeah.
And they're like, doing the porn scene, and he's like, "What are you doing here? You promised never to do this kind of thing again." And the guy goes,
"I've never seen you before in my life."
No, he's like, "I never promised you any such thing." And then he's like, "Not you, idiot!" Ah! And then she's like, "I've never seen you before in my life." And then he's like,
sorry.
"Oh, I'm sorry." And walks out the door.
Wait,
it's like,
I always tried to figure that out. So I think that it was like it was almost like implying that the production that was making that porno was making 2 porno films in the same location, and he literally walked into the wrong room.
I never had an explanation.
That's what that was. That's always been my guess. That's what I think it was like. That's what the implication was.
Oh, okay.
Like that guy was supposed to be in a different porno that was shooting at the same time in the same hospital or whatever it was, and he like walks in and so I'm sorry, there's a wrong room. Yeah, I think that's what that was supposed to be, but I don't know. It's hilarious. So then, it's so funny.
Then you have the reaction of the dude going like, "Good movie."
Yeah, good movie. Yeah. But then when everyone all the victims in the porno theater when they're trying to decide how he should kill himself, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's a funny scene.
First, you have the British guy that he kills on the subway that is really
he's super pissed. That scene is so good.
Yeah,
I love that scene. That shot down the escalator where you're just waiting to see the wolf come into the shot. Yeah, is that the first time you see the wolf?
You see the wolf, for real. Like you've seen little glimpses of it in the trailer. Yeah. Or like some of the close up of the violent like cutaways. But this is the first time that you see it, and you see it for so far away, but you can still see what massive.
That is such a scary scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, and then you think you're gonna get a good close up, and then the fucking lion jumps in.
I shall report this.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
So proper. Oh, how about the couple that are going to the dinner party with their friends and they just give them a right scare?
We'll give it a scare. And then, like, do you hear
I love those guys.
No, yeah.
It's just so many little things like that aren't necessary, that are so good.
I think it makes the victims feel like they're actual people.
Yeah,
like
totally.
They're all doing
100%.
I didn't mean to call you meatloaf, Jack!
Fun fact, once a werewolf gets killed, if he's passed on the curse, he remains in purgatory too with the rest of the people.
Interesting.
So he's got to live forever with the people that he's killed and the people that other werewolf has killed and with other werewolves.
Huh.
It's very well thought out. It really does feel like a fucked up curse. And you're like, dude, I don't know if I want to be a victim or a survivor.
I think you have a dog hair on the side of your face.
Do I?
Let's just kind of jump around the movie. Yeah. Greatest moments of the movie. A naked American man stole my balloon.
A naked American man stole my balloon. What?
The transformation scene. The lead up to the transformation scene I really love. Him watching TV, walking into the bathroom, looking at his teeth. Just the build up to it's so good. He knows what's coming. We know what's coming. The cat, the dogs barking at him, getting stuck out the window, shivering. Like every moment of it just really puts you right into that scene along with him. And then the transformation itself, there's so many nice moments in that filmmaking where it could have been done so by the book. Even with the brilliant way that they did the transformation, they still could have done it a lot more simple. And instead, you have moments like this where we are cutting to the reaction of Mickey Mouse, the bobblehead, watching this transformation, and it is an artful cutaway. It's like it's a weirdly horrific moment.
It's got a very nice way of breaking down the pace of the horror film. Even though at some points it does feel like it's pushing its limits, it never feels like...
It's a fantastic movie, and it balances the genres better than almost any movie I've ever seen.
And the relationship with the friend being the ghost also makes sense. For example, there's plenty of times where I've actually thought about something like, dude, if we go traveling, you survive, you become a werewolf, and I get killed, and I have to randomly show up. Hell, fucking yeah! I'm gonna come in while you're fucking someone and be like, "Yo, she's not liking it." Yeah. I'm gonna fuck with you.
It's an important thing to discuss with your friend before it happens.
Hi, David. Put that down.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Yeah, the casting in the movie is pretty great.
Even the doctor, the side characters like.
Oh yeah, I love the doctor.
You do get a very.
Oh, how about Yoda?
Yoda. Oh yeah, Yoda makes a cameo. Yeah.
Frank Oz.
Where am I? You're in a hospital in London. He's like, London? Where's Jack? And then he's like, yeah, I'd like you to prepare yourself. Your friend is dead. Like, what? Jack is dead? And this bald guy with glasses goes, hi. I appreciate how upsetting this must be, but this is no reason for hysterics.
He's
like,
such
dude,
an asshole. It's so good.
He's like, dude, you're just telling him that he's been unconscious for like 3 weeks. His friend is dead and shipped to America. Like, really? You don't think that's a reason for hysterics?
There's so many random little moments, like the little boy at the hospital.
How are we feeling tonight?
No!
No what?
No!
Benjamin, have you ever been severely beaten about the face and neck?
No!
No!
No! No! Like, what is the point of these scenes? Like, that can't have been in the script, right? It must have just been them filming little things here and there. It's like so random.
They're so bizarre, but they do build up the world. Yeah,
it really does.
They do.
You know, him, the phone call. Okay, how about, the dream he has of the fucking Nazi zombies killing his family at his house. It's intense as fuck.
Oh, his chart says he's from New York, and then he's like, "Oh, I think he's a Jew." He's like, "How do you know that?" I had to look. Like, what the fuck?
Crazy! It's so good. There's just so many moments. Like the whole movie is like that. It just scenes that could otherwise be boring. It's such good screenwriting lesson that if your scene isn't the most exciting part of the movie, there are things you can do to make it memorable.
Yeah.
Like every scene in that movie has something like that in it, where it's very memorable. Okay, he calls his family basically to say goodbye because he's going to kill himself, and his little sister answers the phone.
And they don't, they're not home, they don't pick up,
And she's fucking around, and
he knows he's not going to get a chance to talk to them, so he's like, dude, tell them I love them. Yeah, that's pretty hard.
It's intense. There's intense stuff in there.
Yeah.
But the balance is just perfect from beginning to end, because there's not like some movies will like start off kind of fun, and then there's creepy stuff and it goes back and forth, but then in like the third act it's pretty much just creepy stuff, but they managed to balance it so well all the way through the movie. John Landis, he's done a little bit of horror here and there, I mean the behind the scenes on the set of The Twilight Zone was scarier than the whole movie, but at the time, around this time that he had made An American Werewolf in London, the other films he had made were Coming to America, Trading Places, Three Amigos.
Who are you? The Three Amigos!
Fantastic film. Anything that we've forgotten? I feel like we just described every scene in the movie.
I think so, yeah.
The darts, you made me miss.
The darts, yeah. That's another thing that I talked about, like how they drive the tension in that scene itself.
Yeah, that scene is so good. First scene in The Slaughtered Lamb is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and then like how they go, but because they go from the thing about that scene is that they go from a very fun moment to a very tense moment really quickly. Yeah. So they go like you walk in.
What's that star there?
Yeah, and it is one of those things that like, dude, you do feel like, dude, I fucked up. Like,
and it's such another one of those moments that's such a cliche now.
Yeah.
Of the like story, it's interrupted. Yeah. Someone's about to do something like throwing a dart. Someone says it's so overdone now, but it was perfect.
Have you heard the one about the rushing plane? And everyone's like, oh no, let me speak. All right. There was this chartered plane flying over the Atlantic on its way to New York. And it was full of men from the United Nations. And I don't know why everybody like, ah! So halfway off to the ocean, the engine goes out of petrol. So they have to lighten the plane. So they took out all the baggage. But it's still too heavy. So they took out all the seats. But it's still too heavy.
We'll be right
finally, yeah. Went too heavy with the voice there.
Still too heavy.
Yeah, and then he's like, but the plane, it's still too heavy. Finally, this leapfrog or something like that. He does like this. Oh, this frogger steps up and shouts.
And a French guy.
Vive la France, and leaps out. Then an Englishman. Yeah. God save the Queen, and he leaps out. But the plane, it's still too heavy. Finally, the young delegate from Texas, he stands up and shouts, "Remember the Alamo! And toss off the Mexican!" Ah! And then everybody just bursts off laughing at you. It was the funniest joke.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like...
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
There's a lot of movies that there's kind of an ending after the ending.
Yeah.
This movie,
Oh,
there's
it is?
nothing. It is boom,
Yeah.
dead. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Well, I think we've just about covered it. Such a fantastic film, so I'm glad that we're able to talk about it today.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for us today, folks. I want to thank my guest Juan again for being here.
You know, funny story, and I don't know if you'll be able to put this one on the YouTube channel, but...
I love it already.
Yeah, you know, the first time...
Well, anyway, I think that wraps it up for today, guys. Stay tuned for some more Halloween movies coming soon. We may have, hopefully, another collab with Juan soon.
Yeah.
He's got a channel that he's going to be putting out eventually, so we'll definitely link to it as soon as we have it. But that's all for today, folks. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
Protect your peace.
Protect your...
Peace.
What?